everybody watching this falls in one of three different places. One is they're sitting on no cash right now. They're in a bad situation with their house. It's upside down. They bought their house at the worst possible time, which means they're $300,000 down or $200,000 down. You know, they got fired. They were in real estate. They were in mortgages. They did not save. They're not prepared. So there's nothing they can do to take advantage of this crisis because they have nothing. They're not sitting on any cash. Okay. If you're that person, you have to play a different game. Then there's the other person that plays it always safe, okay? Whether the economy is good, bad, ugly, it's always like this, okay? And, you know, hey, so many opportunities. No. What if? Hey, crisis is happening. Oh, my gosh. What if? And they just kind of play this game. Oh, proud. Or the person that's sitting right now on a lot of cash and they've been preparing for this moment for 8 years, for 9 years, for 10 years, for whatever. Okay, so the first one, guess what? You can't do nothing about this season right now to take advantage of it. You have to prepare for the next one that's probably going to come up in the next 5 to 10 years, which means what? Which means
stack cash.
All of those people that were saying cash is trash 2 years ago are now saying cash is king again, right? Yep. So it's so funny that the cash is trash community has converted into the cash is king community today.
Right.
Now, the tough part is, Omar, to stay disciplined to realize cash is king 2 years before cash is king.
Right.
That's what's hard, right? And then to deploy and say, let's go for it. If you're trying to add another zero to your net worth, you're worth 10 grand, you want to go to 100,000, that's a big deal, 10 to 100 grand. I remember the first time I had $100,000 in the bank. That's a lot of money, right? Or you have 100 grand, you want to go to $1 million, adding a zero. Person that's got $100,000 in the bank saying, you mean to tell me I'm going to have $1 million? That's a very big deal. So that's the next strategy to go to, you got $1 million and want to go to 10 to 100, 100 to $1 billion, billion to 10 billion. It doesn't matter. You're all chasing that next, you're in the pursuit of the next zero, right? Okay. So the first group, find another person that did it right. Go bring as much value as you can to that person that's an up-and-coming star. What do I mean by an up-and-coming star? Right now, Elon Musk is looking for a CEO of Twitter, right? I talked to a bunch of different people that are very close to him. Most likely, you know who's going to end up becoming the CEO of Twitter? A guy named David Sacks. You know why David Sacks is most likely going to end up becoming the CEO of Twitter? He trusts David the most. David's been close to him. And eventually guys like that end up hiring people that they trust because you mean to tell me I'm going to give the company to somebody that I just spent $44 billion of my money to a stranger and say, hey, yeah, you go ahead, you do it. Yeah, I trust you. It's not going to happen. It's going to be the close. So now imagine if Elon is 38 years old, 42 years old, 36 years old, and you go work for a guy like that. And you know this guy's going to be somebody. Well, the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, say he doesn't work out with you and Elon. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to learn a ton from being around Elon for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. That's going to help you where? Elsewhere. How many people from the PayPal mafia build all these other companies, the Jack Dorsey's, the Peter Thiel, the Elon Musk? All of these guys work together because they knew, Reid Hoffman, I want to say, all of these guys became billionaires. So many. PayPal sold for only $1.5 billion. PayPal only sold for $1.5 billion. You know how much of it went to Elon? 180. Out of the 180, he put $100 million into SpaceX, 70 into Tesla, 10 into the solar company that he put. But it's not like he got a bunch of money. So if it's $1.5 billion, and that $1.5 billion was split between him, Thiel, Hoffman, you know, all these other guys, one became Yelp, one became Twitter, one became what? What if you're in that PayPal mafia? Yeah. So if I'm in the first category, man, I'm going to make a list of 30 names that you can say, this guy's worth 5. I think he's going to be worth 100 one day. There's something unique about this guy.
Let me get in.
Let me get close to these guys. I want to get into that gang. If I ever wanted to make it in Hollywood, this is the first thing I would do if I wanted to get into Hollywood. I would make a list of guys that make movies together, a crew. Guys and girls that make movies together. I would say, okay, these guys make movies together. These guys make movies together. These guys make movies together. Man, I'm not these guys, but I love these 8 guys. Let me find out exactly what I need to do to go here. What acting school do they go to? Where are they out on Tuesday nights? What club do they go to? What I want to get in, because once I go in, listen, just give me 2 lines. And then boom, kill it with the 2 lines. Hey, Pat, we got 4 lines for you for next. Awesome. Hey, you got a good role, 5th part, you got 28 lines. No shit, yeah, $200,000. Hey, you're gonna get a part. No way, yes. And then now it's like other people are seeing you.
Compound effect.
Compound effect. So if you're group 1, find that one community and group to get into if you are in group 1, okay? If you're in group 2, you can play in fear for the rest of your life. You're just going to live a regular life. You have to kind of make a decision to overcome some of the ways that some of your philosophies and your identity. There's a reason why you have an identity flaw and that identity issue that you're so afraid. You need to kind of take some risk if you're comfortable. If you're not, keep living your safe life. It is what it is. The other person that's got money, you have an opportunity right now to add the additional 0. And not only that, you have an opportunity right now to kind of, maybe even add more than that, because we have not had this kind of an economy in 13 years. You have to realize we had 129 months of economic expansion, which is 10 years, 10 and a half years. That's never happened in the history of the U.S. economy. And then some of the people are like, oh, this is going to last forever. Boom, boom, boom. This year, oh, real estate's not going to drop. Really? Yeah, okay, no problem. Sure, you keep believing that real estate's not going to drop. The Wall Street Journal yesterday, experts are expecting a very difficult time in real estate in 2023. Of course it's going to happen. You can't just increase the rates thinking I'm going to be able to afford the same mortgage payment. The average person doesn't buy a house based on a loan amount. They buy it based on a mortgage payment. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities. $4 million homes will be $3 million homes. I'll give you a perfect example. This building down here, I won't give the name because I may buy this building. This building down the street here, I'll tell you about it afterwards, is a $54 million building. The company was public. They decide to go private. The owner becomes a billionaire, okay? To a billionaire, a $54 million building is worth what? It's just $54 million to a billionaire, right? So 8 months ago, I go meet with these guys, and they're asking for $32 million bucks, so they just want to get rid of it because it's not helping them out with their, new investors. They said, hey, you make an offer for $32 million, we'll sell it to you. I said, no, I'm at 26. So don't even make the offer. It's a waste of your time. No problem. You know what call I...
And you could do it at 32, but
100%. Yeah.
You're just playing.
So they said 26. I said, no, I'm convinced market's going down. They called me yesterday. Listen, man, I'm not interested. Hey, Pat, just listen. I'm telling you, I'm not interested. Can you just take the damn call? 30 seconds. If you make a $20 million offer right now, they'll sell it to you. So guess what I said? $15 million.
Just for the sake of sport.
Because you could have said yes and you didn't.
Yeah.
The name he mentioned when I first walked in here, it's a big realtor guy, okay? I made an offer on one of his buildings, one of his houses at $21.4 million. He comes back, he lowers it from $25 million to $24.2 million. I made an offer for $21.4 million. He comes down only $500,000. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I run into him in an event in Miami. He says to me, oh man, that could have been your house. I said, no. I found out what you sold it for. You sold it for $17 million. You could have gotten an additional $4.5 million, but you played cocky. And I told you, don't call me again for lowering it $500,000. I'm not doing a deal with a guy like you. And he walks, and he said, oh, you remember that? I said, I saw it on Real Deal. You sold it for $17 million. Here it is. Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. Well, you effed up. Cost yourself $4.5 million to the seller, and make sure the seller doesn't find out because you cost him $4.5 million, and you cost yourself around $250,000 in commissions. What's the moral of the story? It's a great time if you got cash, because it's a weird time if you got cash. So many weird opportunities. So some people say, how could you do that to take advantage of this? It's not to take advantage of this. You would do the same thing if you stay disciplined for 20 years to save money for a moment like this. It's probably because you've been waiting for this moment so you can capitalize. Well, it's here. $500,000 watches are selling for $210,000 today. Okay? This is just the beginning. Because one of the things our friend, what's his name? He's your best friend, Jerome Powell, right? One of the things he's made it very clear is what? They are not lowering the rates this year. They're going to keep it the way it is until inflation gets to what? 2 points. Okay, to do that, what does he need to do? He needs to keep increasing. The more he increases, what happens to a 30-year fix? It keeps going higher and higher and higher. You think that's going to be, right now, year over year, you know how much refinance business is down? Do you know the number? Year over year. If you were doing 100 loans a month a year ago, correct me if I'm wrong here, this is Wall Street Journal data. If you're doing 100 loans a month a year ago, what do you think you're doing today?
20.
You're right. 86% you're down, which means you're doing 14 a month. So let me break down the math for you. If you were making $100,000 a month a year ago doing loans, what are you making right now?
20-ish.
$14,000 a month.
14, yeah.
That's insane. And they're saying he's going to continue increasing rates. What's going to happen in real estate? Well, there's going to be a lot of great opportunities. So so again, if the first group is sitting here saying, oh my God, I feel like shit, I feel like this. The great thing about business is, man, you know, we all have moments where we miss it. I missed out on everything being discounted on 9/11. I missed out. I was spending most of my money gambling, casinos, partying, clubbing. And I said, I'm going to be ready for the next one. And I was ready for the one in '08, and I was ready for the one in COVID, and I am ready for this one here. So this is the whole reason we're going back to the interview of long-term thinking. If you're thinking long-term, you're going to get plenty of chances.